Picking up right from where I left off, we're starting with the G36. A fairly balanced assault rifle. Its accuracy and damage is what makes it above the all just above being balanced. It's starting it out is a little rough, but as soon as you start getting your attachments, your sights, and all, you're gonna run that gun perfectly fine. The MP5K is above balance simply because it's too accurate with too low of recoil. That's it. MP7 is too good of a stealth gun. If you run this hip fire stealth, and if you're good at doing it with enough practice, you can just run right behind the enemy, take out half of them before they realize what's going on, and then you could probably kill the other half, honestly. Honestly, because of its high fire rate. The P90. Basically, it just shoots fast, has a lot of ammo. That's basically it. The L22, very accurate, pretty powerful, fast fire rate. That pretty much describes this gun. That's all I can say for it, too. The Rex is complete BS at close range. If we did have a pro scene, we may see a handful of Rexes, honestly. Just a few. We may even see some M9s or G17s, but it wouldn't be as common as the G18, because if there's a pro scene, anyone worth their weight in rice will be using the G18 unless it's a rule you can't or something. Moving on to balanced A tier. These are where you want to see the weapons. These guns are perfectly balanced. Well, maybe not perfect. They don't need a nerf. They don't need a buff. They should stay where they are. The M16A4 is a very accurate assault rifle. The only thing that offsets this is it has no automatic. It has a burst, but good luck hitting anything with it. Unless you're damn near point blank, so close you could just take out your G18 and just line them up. There's no point in using it. But it's a very accurate, very good single shot gun. Need a little practice, need maybe an attachment or two, but this is a trustworthy weapon. The L85 is just a very well-rounded gun. Powerful, accurate, fairly easy to use. That's basically what describes this gun. UMP, pretty much the same way. It takes some skill to use, but you can be using it very effectively. It has a weird feel to it, but once you get past that weird feeling with it, you can just rock this gun all day. The SVU is basically a one-shot gun. Like, close range, you can use it. Honestly, I have not used it since it got demoted from sniper to a marksman rifle, or I think it's the DMR. I really want to see, if it hasn't already been done, a much lower recoil, but keep the damage where it is. And that would put it in line with the other DMRs, the MK11, the SKS, so on. Because it just has too much recoil to be effective at all right now. Change that, the gun's great. Otherwise, it's barely above B+ tier. M4, the first gun that I used after ranks got added. Great gun, I love it, I think it runs well. Nothing special about it. That's all I can say. G36C, balanced weapon overall. It's kind of like the M4, just better in my opinion. Scar H, high power, fairly good accuracy. The only thing that keeps us out of A+ or S tier is that it has so much damn recoil tied to it. Low magazine capacity of 20. Otherwise, you could stand up. You could probably just run this as an assault rifle instead of a battle rifle. Otherwise, it's a fairly balanced gun as is. KSG is a shotgun, only good in close quarters. For some reason, it has to do with the pellets and the angle. The gun absolutely sucks against anyone laying prone unless you're right on top of them with the gun to their head. Otherwise, you have problems hitting people with it. The M93R is kinda like a burst fire, different form of the M9. Just not as good. It's okay. The A3 and the A2 are pretty much the same gun. Some differences. They mostly run the same. I haven't played with them much, but I have used them enough to know they're not too strong. Once you get some attachments on them, they're gonna run a lot better, but you can still use them at any point in the game. On to B plus tier. Now we're talking about weak weapons. These guns are below balance. They need a buff or change to make them viable. The AK-12, it has too much recoil to it. I can run a horizontal, or I think a stubby grip even. The muzzle brake, I run a C79 on it, but it still has so much recoil to it that it's hard to use. It has to be tap fired. You can hip fire it in full auto at close range. It just feels very awkward, but you can still use it. The VFG-50, now some people might be surprised. Why is this in B plus tier? It can one-shot. So can the SSR, the SVU, all the shotguns. You get my point. Just because it can one-shot doesn't make it good. You get one shot. You miss it, well, you have to reload. You're close quarters and you missed it, kiss your ass goodbye. You're taking a dirt nap for a while. It's just a bad gun in general. If you can get on a roll with it, which I have done, it's a fun gun to use. And it does make a lot of noobs mad, but it's just not great in a high level of play. The SKS. It's in B plus because why would I use it over the Scar H or the MK11? It just fits. It's made for a role that doesn't exist. It's made for a role that wasn't needed to be filled. That's the best explanation for this gun I can come up with. The Remington 870, basically a slightly more powerful KSG, just with less ammo. The Deagle, Desert Eagle .44 Magnum. Basically, think of the Rex, make it weaker, you got your Deagle right there. The AUG, now it's a machine gun. Why are all the other machine guns highly rated, but this one's very low? It has a very high amount of recoil. You can use it, but its recoil at the start is very high. I mean, we're talking MG36 with the attachments. Then we're talking about, I think I messed that up. I think actually with the attachments, then we're talking about the MG36 level of recoil. Right now it's just beyond high, which makes it bad. Now the B minus. These are guns that are bad. They need buffs and changes to be very effective. The AS Val, just basically think of the UMP, but made for one person. Tech 9, already talked about it. It's the counter to the G18. That's basically all it's used for. The Serbu, it has a poor spread and low damage. That's why it's bad. And it only has 3 shots to a mag. Or to a load. C tier, underpowered. These guns are bad, need buffs, and changes to be effective. This whole list is just MP5s. They're just very inaccurate, very difficult to use, and they're just bad. I don't know why. MP10, same reason. Scar Hammer. Basically, think of an M60, cut its magazine in half, make its recoil even higher, and make it even harder to use. Like, it's just a hard to use gun that barely gets killed. I used it for a few deaths, or deaths. Didn't get many kills because it was just trash. Too much recoil. I felt like I was shooting cotton candy the entire time. It was just bad. There's no new guns currently because I have used them all. I know what they all do. That's the tier list. Changes will be made. The more I play, the more I think about the gun and the meta, the more changes will be made. And as I go, I'll make more videos when there's a couple of changes, or maybe every little change I make. It just depends. Either way, that's for 1 and 2 episodes, the whole list. And as I make changes, I will be updating. So, thanks for watching, and that'll be the end of this series. Well, this video. The series will continue.